Okay, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, we got a new thing going on here. We're gonna let our boys play in the background. This is the Dells, y'all know the love we had. Okay, and we're gonna do a shuffle. Okay, I've been wondering. Alright, let's go ahead and break this down for you. There's been a couple of things that we've changed up, and so I'm gonna slowly but surely bring it to your attention as the days go by. The software we're using for video recording so that you can hear me when I speak is ZD Screen Soft Recorder. Where you at, ZD? There it is right there. Soft screen recorder. Okay, it's like that, not so soft, but ever so soft, refreshing, and clothing placed in the dryer softener. Okay, and it's a much better program because I can monitor it. I can see what's going on right here, and so I give them credit. Now you're saying, why did he change the software? Because I just put Windows. Let's do this. I tried doing it a minute ago. It caused some problems because I'm doing way too many things in the background, and I got to start a program in a minute that's gonna probably cause more problems. So that you know, oh, I don't have to do that to show you it's Windows 10. I'll show you it's Windows 10 and it's activated. Now see, this is my biggest problem right here. Memory, I don't have enough. So on Monday, this will be 3.75 gigahertz, and this will be 16 gigabytes, and it'll still be a 64 gigabyte system. Now it says pen and touch. No pen and touch input is available for this device. Ladies and gentlemen, this was supposed to be a touch screen, but I upgraded it to Windows 10 and lost touch screen. So I downgraded it to Windows 8.1 and still lost touch screen. So I brought it back to Windows 10 and I lost my video recorder. Okay? So I had to find another. Now you're saying, how did you find another? Well, I'ma tell you, since you're so interested. Then we're gonna show you all about the birth certificates, okay? So y'all just hold on with me. We're gonna talk about the birth certificates and SATCOM. Got a list right here. Somebody told me to put a list together. So I'm gonna make sure we cover everything I got planned to cover. Now these are programs, ladies and gentlemen. Programs. And this is the program. Come. Uh-oh. Voos. Anybody seen my Voos? See, ladies and gentlemen, this is called Voos. It's a BitTorrent client. And basically, how did I get Voos? We're going to talk, because I took y'all here. Now, this is another software. This is ApowerSoft. And I got to thank Mr. J, because if he had not allowed me to remotely connect with his computer, I would not have seen this software. And I would not have said, hey, maybe I ought to check that software out. So thank you, Jay. Now, what we're going to do is oh, that's right. I can't do the surfing on that particular site for programs. So we're going to go to UZE, Voos.com. And we're going to hit enter. And it's going to take us to the site. And when you get there, it's free. You're going to download, not that one. Stay away from the blue. It'll kill you. You're going to download this one, the green. Okay? Don't be so mean. It's the green. We're going back to the 70s, remember? So we got to say these little weak rhymes like they did in the 70s. I ain't jive shucking you. Anyway, you download the green. This is what's going to happen. It's gonna say save file. We don't want to download with this fire. Download. Okay? Don't click that. Just save file. And you see? File save. Really quick. Okay? There you go. Then we're gonna click on it. Double click. Okay. Then it's gonna tell us run. No, don't run. You'll kill yourself. And we're gonna hit run. Now I already have the software loaded on my computer. So I'm not going to load it up this time. As you saw, I already turned it on. Okay? Booze. Already turned on. I'm sorry, when you're playing videos on YouTube, they do this ad junk. After one song, oh, Simpson passed away. Either it was this year or last year. And I was kind of saddened by that. That my man right here, Simpson, is no more with us. So, Simpson, I like you. I like both Ashford and Simpson. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to click Customize, okay? Then you're going to click I agree. Then you're going to unclick, unclick, unclick. Well, you can do the quick lock. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You want to click all three. This is the wrong page, okay? You want to click all three. You want to leave this one alone, okay? It's the next one that you want to be paying attention to. Unclick, 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 unclick. And then you're going to click next. And it's going to ask you if you want to do the spy god. And you're going to say decline. Then it's going to ask you if you want to do the malware. And you're going to say decline. And then it's going to load up. Good to you. Sorry. That's what they want to know. Is it still good to you? Ashford and Simpson, y'all. I love that group. These were my peoples. Okay? Ashford and Simpson. Anyway, people say, you'll be playing some alright music in the background. That kind of brings me back. Like a rocking chair, like the one you sitting in right now. We go that far back. We go way back like a rocking chair. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Voos, as you see, is loading up. It's extracting files. Now, why Voos? Why am I putting this on my computer? Because Voos can give you viruses. That's right, and that's why you gotta have a cold remedy. So, what is my cold remedy for Voos? Well, it's this, y'all. We're gonna do 360 SECURITY. And it's gonna, oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let Voos, because this is 360 total security. You see that right there? It's asking me, and I'm gonna let Voos do what it do, because I need it to do what it do, because I've used Voos. We don't want Norton. Ladies and gentlemen, it says also try 360. It's a free software. Free. And you know something? I had ESCT, as many of you know, but 360 has been doing the job. This is 360 total security. This is 360. I'm sorry, somebody just came by waving at me and they see that I'm doing the video. Alright, this is 360 total security. This is their official site right here. Okay, you see, free download. Ladies and gentlemen, 360 comes with several softwares included. So let's say I got Voos. This is Voos. Ashford, you and Simpson, let the people know. Okay. So let's open one of the files that I downloaded. We're going to click here, Content, Show and Explore. Alright. This is not a video on how to use Voos. No, not going to do that at all. I want you to pay attention to what 360 does. It says scan with 360 total security. Don't need to do that. It automatically scans. The moment I try to open it, it will scan. Run in 360 Sandbox. That's a virtual machine. In other words, it doesn't open up on my hard drive. It opens up in a virtual image so that I am protected. Now, why do I need that type of protection? Just in case, see, running in Sandbox means it will protect me from viruses. Okay? Now, if there's a virus, 360 will pick it up and it will quarantine it. Why? Well, because, okay, I have on my computer, let's see, WINDOWS10, and so we're going to click that. I got to be careful hitting this keyboard. There's one of the components is not connected right, and so I got to figure out what they did to my computer when they had it in property, because if I hit the keys too hard, and I don't know my own strength with this disease known as muscular dystrophy, it'll freeze up on me. And they did that on purpose. Okay, they wanted to cause me problems. Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Not this video, the next video. I'll tell you what happened in Puerto Rico. Things are, in my opinion, are still not over. I know they're going to come at me again. So for right now, we're going to say it's over with for now. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is Windows 10. There are 2,745, and this is what I'm worried about. I don't care about the peers. I'm worried about the seeds. There are 2,745 individuals out there who wishes to share this file with me. That's right, with me. I'm special. They care about me, y'all. So I will click on download. Now notice what happens. See that screen pop up and this screen pop up? All I have to do is hit OK. Let's do that. I'm not going to download it because I already have Windows. I have several versions of Windows 10. Where you at, Windows 10? Okay, we're going to stop. And after we stop, we're going to hit that. We can, when they finish, we hit remove from library. Means it removes it from here. When we don't want it, we hit delete from computer. And there you go. Let me show you so that y'all know. We got to go to library. See library? We go that. And then enter, then we go that, and then enter, and then that, and then enter. Sorry, I'm clearing this up so that I can, when I look at it again, I can have more space. Oh, and by the way, if you're doing, you know what, it ain't doing what it's supposed to do. I guess I'm gonna have to do it up here. Okay, take it away. Interesting. Let's do that. Something ain't, oh, it must be all the junk that I'm doing, because it ain't supposed to be slowing down like this. It's supposed to be removing itself. So I'm gonna have to let it, oh, it did. See, it just took them away. Alright, let's do this one. And let's do this one. And let's do this one. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the other thing. You can't go down, or no, you can't go up here and come down, because then you'll click on all of these. So you must come underneath, and then you go that. And then you do the same thing here. Now, some of you have heard me talk about doing animation, and as I mentioned to you all, that's my goal, is animation, to take my videos, and this is the time it's going to take for each one of these. The time will change depending on the speed. This is at 1 megabyte, and this is at 475 kilobytes. It will fluctuate depending on the internet speed of the facility that I'm at. Now, I am in North Carolina. Uh-oh. And you're going to have to refresh yourself. Okay, it gave me an error message, so I just had to look to see where the problem was along these things here. And so I see what the problem. This is Stardock Fences, and I can't get number 3. Been looking for it, can't get it, but it's okay. See, this is at 1.8, and before it wasn't. This is Andromeda. Y'all remember Andromeda? I like the series, so I'm downloading it. That's 59 gigabytes. That's going to be finished in a little over 5 hours. It's not going to take the full 8. Okay, this is 22 gigabytes, and this is Suits. I like Suits. Missed a lot of Suits, so I'm going to watch USA Suits on my computer as I travel between the states on Greyhound. That's right. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Alright, now this is Voos. So, what I did is I typed in video screen recorder, and it gave me ZDSoft. Now this looks like the other software I have, and it is, but this is the upgraded version of the software I had. The software I had before was 2011. This is 2000, we in the mix 16. Okay? Alright, we've been talking about nothing for 14 minutes, so shall we move forward? Well, we have to give the artists their credit. because like I said, this was back in the day. And Eddie, I don't know who you are, Mr. Kendricks, but apparently you're singing about the girl of your dreams. And I know some of y'all gonna say, you should know who Eddie Kendricks is. I know who Eddie Kendricks is. Ladies and gentlemen, because he's an artist and because he had to struggle to get to where he was, because they take advantage of these artists, I won't say much to those people who want to interject. But if I had to say something, it would go along the lines that I don't give up. I'm sorry, my bad. Whew, almost went there. Alright, let me tell you about this software. ApowerSoft. ApowerSoft is a video downloader, and it allows me to download videos like YouTube. Let's say I want to download this. Well, no, I want to download number 2. Where is the number 2 of this one? Megamind. I was watching it earlier. I've already downloaded it, and I think I got to about here where Captain or whatever that idiot's name, who that one right there, where he's dead. They can't find him. They don't know where he be. So this is about where I got to. So I'm gonna pause it. But you simply hit download. Now watch this. I go to download. See, it says added to queue. I don't want to see you again. We go here, and it's downloading. It's downloading. Okay, so we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna remove. We're gonna put it in the trash can. Remove selected. Then trash can. That's all the junk in the trash can. Junk in the trunk. MC Hammer. Junk in the trunk. That's not the name of the song, but you know, it should have been. Alright, we got junk in the trunk. And we're gonna remove selected. Delete from disk. Why are we doing delete from disk? Because I don't need it saving any space on my disk, because I got very low space as it is. And we can download video after video after video after video after video from many sites. So this software works better than YouTube downloader, and it actually downloads pretty quick, people. Alright, there you go. I'm just giving you a breakdown. We're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, and we're gonna talk about my birth certificate. But for right now, we're changing the top of the cover letter. Most of you don't understand, so don't worry about it. The cover letter is what we send. We gave you a sample of a cover letter, a sample. Okay, we're going to be amending these as time goes by, as we continue to go over new information. Let's go here. We're going to go open, we're going to go browse, and we're going to go documents. No, we're doing documents, and we're going to do infantante. I-N-F-A-N-T. Infantante. Infant. See, that was for you guys. Those of you who infants, we got your email addresses. I gotta add more. Y'all have been beating us up with all these letters y'all been sending of these birth certificates. What's wrong with y'all? They wasn't supposed to bombard us, overwhelm us. Oh, by the way, I just spoke with somebody yesterday about adverse possession and infants. People keep telling me that this has nothing to do with infants, and that I am reading the statutes wrong. And there's this idiot out there who thinks that he is so smart. Oh, God. And people are telling me, you know, he's out there discrediting you and talking about you. People, I don't care. All I know is one thing. Whereas other people out there are trying to discredit me because of jealousy or whatever it is. I don't care. Oh my boy, this the Isley Brothers, and we gonna drift, y'all, on a memory. That's right. This is infant adverse possession. I didn't want the adverse possession. I need the other one. So I gotta find the other one. Wait, I know how to find it. we are going to do open, and we're going to do browse, and we're in my documents, not in files. Well, it might be here. It might be here. Wait, as a matter of fact, no, let's do that. I'm opening up all of them. Now this gets me in a lot of trouble, people, because you see it's opening up all these windows, and I'm doing the music in the background, the video recording, the video downloading, the video playing, and we're doing the website being open, the browser, and then we got all the other words open. Do you see? All of this is why my computers don't like me, because computers don't want to do a lot of work. If you don't believe me, go and look at any office and notice how many people are not on their computers. Okay? Word will now convert your PDF into an editable Word document. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain what's going on with Word. This is Word 2016. Well, when I got Word 2016, I did it through this software. I'm not telling you how to get pirated software. No, I'm telling you how to share with your neighbor. My neighbors are sharing with me. Do you see this? It's all about sharing. See, I told you it wasn't going to take 8 hours. None of them are 8 hours. And I let it work in the background while I do my work. I don't have to pay attention to this. This is not for me to pay attention. I let it work in the background. But I typed in Microsoft Office Word, and that's what it gave me. This is another one of the infant adverse possessions. And notice what I said. Below is corpus juris secundum on the infant estate. What you're going to do is this. You're going to send a motion to the court, simple and to the point, that it should not be more, should not be more than a page and a half. You supposed to let the court know that this is no ordinary petition, that per the 31st title of Code of Federal Regulations, section 363, you have established a Treasury Direct account number. And it is, and you put the number you got in the document, which proves that to the court in the statute that I am no longer to be considered a minor. And well, it's supposed to be in straddle with minor deficiencies and disabilities. Ladies and gentlemen, this was done with speech recognition. It was done some time ago, but let me go ahead. That you're petitioning for set off and to have minor disabilities removed because you are insolvent. That also constitutes and stands as grounds for seeking affirmative relief. You don't want general relief. You don't want any other type of relief but affirmative relief. Affirmative? That there is a conflict or controversy because this involves your estate. You have every right to have minor disabilities removed via your petition and to have set off in equity, and will attach the corpus juris secundum sections which I copied all the information below so that you can have access to the case law, utilize it as necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do something. Let's see if it's in this document. If it's not in this one, it's going to be in the other one. We're going to do this, F-I-R-M-A-N-C-E. Disaffirmance. It says no result, so it's not in this one. So let's go majority. A-G-E of M-A-J-O-R-I-T-Y. And it said no matches. So this is not the document. Age of majority, infant. Let's do infant. 58 results of inference. Process sometimes must be issued in a proceeding for removal of disabilities of an infant as in other suits. Notice of publication. This is service of process. A petition for emancipation of an infant must conform to the applicable statute. Such proceedings are generally commenced by petition in writing. Thus, that's where this information was coming from. A petition for emancipation of an infant must conform to applicable statutes for the removal of disabilities of an infant. Remember, people, you're straddled with disabilities. Removal of disabilities of an infant. The disability privileges. No, it says issuance and service of process may be waived. Somebody was going over that information with me. Now see, hearings to determine, that's what it talks about there. This is this the, no, this is not the emancipation of the infant. This is the one on adverse possession. Disabilities of an infant. Oh, privileges. That's what it is, because the disabilities of the infant are really privileges. So let's do this. Disabilities. Then that means I spell disabilities wrong, and that's what I do. My spelling is going to be off because you know why, people? I'm still tired. I got 9 hours of sleep last night, but it still doesn't stop me from being tired. If it's not in this one, it's going to be in the other one. Okay. Now, I want you to understand administering. An infant may take and hold property in trust, although he or she is subject to the same disabilities in administering the trust as in dealing with his or her own property. You see, you don't get to administer your own trust. There are limitations or disabilities associated with it. Alright, so we're going to close this one. No, this is still the same one. Well, this is parent and child. So let's try. You got one result. Nah, this ain't gonna be it. This one will take me too far and too long. Trust. I promised somebody I would send this to her. This is the one where it tells you that an attorney and its client. This document is on the site. It's corpus juris secundum notes. You can type it in Google and find it. But you know what we're looking for? Well, let's do that. The disabilities of an infant are really privileges. They're really privileges? You mean the disabilities of an infant are really privileges? So let's find out what these stupid privileges are so that you all can know that this man is not sitting up here talking out the side of his necks. See how I'm tapping them keys? I did all of that. I could just type in the 14th Amendment and it will pull up the Constitution, but I did all that because of Google and its algorithm. I'll show you something later. I think you'll find it interesting. This is the 14th Amendment. Ladies and gentlemen, now I get to prove to you that this talks about infants. 14th Amendment, section number 1. I didn't mean to hit reset. Uh-oh. I want to zoom. Control plus plus. Okay. Control plus plus. Uh-oh. Get out of there. Get out of there. You're going to hurt yourself. Okay. And then control minus minus to bring it back down. See, I didn't know that. And I'm supposed to be pulling up the quick keys for Windows. Alright, this is Amendment number 14. Okay? The 14th Amendment. Section number 1. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can walk this together. Y'all want to walk with me? All persons born or naturalized in the United States. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta do this. I gotta show you who we're talking about. This is your life by the 5th dimension. There are 5 dimensions, ladies and gentlemen. No, there are 8 dimensions. According to them, there's only 5, so shut it up. Shut it up. Anyway. Not you, the 5th dimension. You can keep talking. Alright. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's the... What you say? What's that thing? I'm trying to think of the word for it. That's the loophole. You have to be subject to the jurisdiction. You can be born in the United States and naturalized, but you have to be subject to the jurisdiction. So you need to find out how to not be subject to the jurisdiction, because if you're subject to their jurisdiction, you are citizens of the United States and the state where you reside. Now, if you're a citizen of the state, you're a citizen of the United States. Pay attention, are citizens of the United States and citizens of the state where they reside. They go hand in hand. Now, no state shall make or enforce a law that obliges the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. Bunny the Barge? Never heard of him. Oh, sorry. Dun, 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 dun. This was by DeBarge. This is called A Dream. But they list her by herself. Y'all remember DeBarge? El DeBarge, Chico DeBarge. Y'all remember DeBarge. Thank you. Now I'm glad, okay, I see. They said starring Bunny DeBarge. Young lady. Sorry, I like this song and I know many of you do. People, the 14th Amendment comes with privileges. The disabilities of infants are really privileges. This is the reason for the 14th Amendment, so that they could manage infants, minors. That's why most people don't get it, so let me explain to you why this is the case. It says, "And no state shall deprive a person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law or equal protection of law." Ladies and gentlemen, some people are claiming that the due process clause and the equal protection clause comes from the 14th Amendment. Do you agree? Do you agree? Talk to me. Do you agree that they come from the 14th Amendment? That I wish was reality, and you come knocking at my door, and we relive this dream once more. We're going to go to this amendment, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see where the due process clause officially comes from. And then I'm going to break it down for you so you get it. Do you see that? Due process. It also requires that due process be part of any proceedings that denies a citizen of life, liberty, or property. That's the Fifth Amendment. Well, where is the Fifth Amendment? It's right here. Right here, you see? Right here. I'm in the South, y'all, so I gotta talk like I'm from the South. What you mean y'all don't talk like that? I got people from the South. I know y'all talk like that. I've been growing up with people like that talk like that. Like that there. Anyway, without due process of law. Now please, pay attention. Nothing in this talks about privileges. Now, pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. If you have due process rights here, I really need y'all to pay attention because I want y'all to get this. There is no need for them to mention it again in another amendment. Now let me sit back and see if you guys pay attention to what I'm saying. If they mentioned it in the Fifth Amendment, in the Bill of Rights, there is no reason for them to mention it again later on down the line, years later. If they needed to amend the amendment, there is a process for it. See, due process. But here, they put due process here because it doesn't apply to the, hold on, I gotta stop again. To the people that are talked about here. It's two different groups. Now, pay attention. No person shall be held. Okay, no person. That includes infants. However, the 14th Amendment lets us know that the ones with the privileges and immunities, man, part of those privileges and immunities is for them to be treated as a United States citizen and recognized as a United States citizen. You don't believe me? All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. And no state shall make or enforce a law that shall abridge on the United States citizen. See, citizen of the United States. Immunities. Who are them citizens? I just told y'all, weren't y'all paying attention? The citizens are the infants. Look. Infants are possessed of certain rights. They're possessed! Oh God! Somebody call Ghostbusters! Their rights are not superior to those of adults. That's right. And they are bound by the law to the same extent as adults. Yeah, they contracted. The disabilities of infants are really privileges which the law gives them. But see, people, your natural rights, nobody gives that to you. You have those automatically. But when you accept the privileges and the immunities as a 14th Amendment citizen, Section 1, remember, it's not a 14th Amendment citizen, it's a 14th Amendment Section 1 citizen. Because Section 2, 3, 4, and 5 do not talk about the minors. So let's go on, shall we? Yeah, can we? Okay, now we're at 36 minutes. We're going to take this to about 45 minutes and we're going to start the next video. And then in that video, we're going to go ahead and talk about the birth certificates in SATCOM. I just had to, because somebody is out there opening his mouth and thinking I ain't going to check him. I don't give about him having a talk show. I don't give about him being older than me. If you're going to open your mouth and tell somebody that somebody's got something wrong, then you need to come forth with the information proving they got something wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, do I not show you where I get my information from? I know, I thought so. The rights of infants are of greater concern to a court than those of adults. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. The rights of infants are of greater concern to the courts than that of adults and must be protected by the court, while adults must protect their own rights? Persons dealing with an infant must take notice of his privileges and disabilities. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't write this. So, we're going to talk about why the disabilities are important for you to know about, and why you must put something about disaffirmance in your paperwork. We're going to talk about that, okay? Infancy is a personal privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, infancy is a personal privilege and only minors themselves can complain because of the violation of law affecting their minority. Although after the death of an infant, the privilege of infancy continues to his legal personal representative. An infant cannot disaffirm acts done for others and not affecting his own property. People, I cannot come in for you and speak up. Okay? You have to do this. Okay, let's continue, shall we? I thought you would want to. The benefits from claiming his personal privilege without having imposed on the disabilities of infancy. Accordingly, in the absence of constitutional inhibition, the legislature has the power to fix the age at which the disabilities of infancy shall be removed, and to change the age at which infancy is a privilege to exercise legal rights which shall be binding on him. Ladies and gentlemen, the age of majority is normally 18 through 21. And we have legislature. What legislature? What legislature? I done told you, y'all need to pay attention. I can't keep doing this if y'all not gonna pay attention. Okay? Oh, that's right. We got somebody criticizing, saying I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, let's show you the legislation. Y'all ready? Okay. We're gonna do MINNESOTTA COURTRULE 220. Okay, Minnesota Court Rule 220. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one we want. This one right here where it says Rule 220. General Rules of Practice. This is going to take us directly to their site. Now I want you all to pay attention. Does anybody know about presumption of law? I know I've done several videos on it, but I just want to make sure you all know what presumption of law is. Okay, I want you to pay attention. This is supposed to be called a court rule. Are you paying attention to me? Alright, now the courts are supposed to be part of what branch of government? The judicial branch? Yes, that's right. How did you know? The judicial branch. So the courts are supposed to be part of the judicial branch. Okay, so let's pay attention. Rule 220, birth certificate. The register of titles is authorized to... Wait. The register of titles, that's not part of the judicial branch, is it? What branch is the register of titles? Isn't that the executive... Yeah, executive branch. They're under the Secretary of State, which is under the governor. So, or the president, or the CEO. So that's the executive branch. So how does the judicial branch get to tell the executive branch what to do? Y'all ain't heard of separation of powers? Hold on, let's do that. It's called the separation of powers clause. Separation of powers clause. Yeah, I know I spelled it wrong. Let's do it this way. Okay, separation of powers. Now we got Wikipedia. Let's do definition at dictionary.com so everybody can see it together. Can we look at it together? Because we're still together. Let's see, who is this, y'all? We got to find out who this is. Smokey Robinson and his Miracles. Here I go again. I know this song. And this is when they sang. Didn't lip sync. Now, this is Smokey, y'all. Y'all know who Smokey is? This is Smokey. And he's got some miracles standing there with him. Okay, anyway. Again, we're going to minimize. We got to give our artists their credit because they're helping me with this video. And so I appreciate that. I clicked on separation of powers and look at how long this is taking. We ain't going to be going through all the... Oh, that's because it was going to another page. Hate these stupid websites that do stupid things like that. Look, the principle or system of vesting in separate branches of executive, legislative, and judicial powers of a government. Separate. The doctrine that individual branches of government, executive, legislative, and judicial, are separate and unique powers to the others cannot infringe upon. What others? Each other. Infringe upon. They cannot sit up there and give their power to each other or take away the other's power. It violates the separation of powers clause in the Constitution. The fundamental principle of the United States government whereby powers and responsibilities are divided among the legislative, executive branches and judicial branch of government. The officials of each branch are selected by different procedures and serve different terms of office. Each branch may choose to block actions of the other branches through the system of checks and balances. The framers of the Constitution designed this system to ensure that one branch would not accumulate too much power and that issues of public policy and welfare would be given comprehensive consideration before an action was to be taken. Ladies and gentlemen, what is that saying? Well, it's saying that the judicial branch is not authorized to authorize another branch of government to do anything. Now, break it down. This rule is on the official registry for the state of Minnesota. So how did the court get the authority to authorize the county register to do anything? Because there is a statute that authorizes the county register to do it. I showed you the video in California where the statute exists. And so this rule is simply one backing up the legislature who created the statute, which is binding on the court and the legislature and the wonderful county register, the executive branch. So the register of titles is authorized. This is a statute. We use presumption of law. If it says it's authorized to do something, that means that they derive the power from some source, and we believe that that power has to be constitutional, so we use presumption of law. But apparently some people are not intelligent enough to be able to read statute to understand what's going on. Now, I didn't need anybody to tell me all of this. I've known this for some time. So go back and listen to the videos and notice how often I refer to this as a statute. And you see in my document, I don't put that part, I put this part. And if I use general rules of practice, you don't see me putting Minnesota on my documents. Why do I not put Minnesota? Why do I just put this here? Because I want the county register and everyone to know that I understand that I don't need to use Minnesota's code. I'm just using the wording of their statute, which complies with all of the other states because they're all dealing with the age of majority. What do you mean, how do I know? You see what I'm dealing with? Oh, attorney-clients. Let's do that so that all of you know, so that you get it, so you understand. Should I hire an attorney? Corpus Juris Secundum, volume number 7, section 4. The answers below. His first duty, this is the attorney-client relationship. His first duty is to the court and to the public, not to the client. Wait a minute. His first duty is to the court and to the public. But isn't he not supposed to represent the client? No, not to the client. And wherever the duties of the client conflict with those he owes as an officer of the court, in the administration of justice, he must yield to the latter. Who's the latter? Get off that ladder! This is the ladder. Oh, well, he must yield to the client. That's the ladder. And go to them. So this is the ladder because it was said last. He must yield. What does it mean to yield? It means you need to stop until everybody stops so that you can go through. Until it's safe. And it'll never be safe for you to go on out there into them streets. So y'all need to stop running on out there in the streets talking all this junk about y'all know what y'all doing when you have no concept, no clue. Now, how do I know you have no concept, no clue? Because many of you are calling the people that I'm communicating with, and what you're doing is you're asking them to communicate with me. I put this up last year. This is about the determination and hearing of a minor. I told everybody that this is all equity, that the courts are all equity. I've had people arguing with me on that. Ladies and gentlemen, the courts are all private corporations. As private corporations, they go by administrative law. Administrative law is equity, equity, equity. So if administrative law is equity, that's right, it's all equity. Then what does that mean for us? That means that you got problems. Because equity will kick your butt. Oh, did you guys know generally an infant may acquire property rights and he or she cannot be deprived of thereof except as prescribed by law? Yeah, you're being kicked out of your houses as infants because you signed a deed of trust. We're going to talk about that. I've seen so many deed of trust that speaks about mortgage default insurance. And all of you are not bringing up the fact that you had mortgage default insurance. Oh, by the way, did you know that there are very strict penalties for intermeddling with infants and their properties? Interesting, huh? But they allow them to understand that, see, if the person causing the injury has thought that they were acting in good faith, then they don't have to suffer. Is this Angela? I mean, the song is called Angel. Angela Winbush. Angela. That's Angela, y'all. Y'all know Angela. That's my girl. That's why I knew who she was. Angela singing Angel. Look at that. Angela. Let's get rid of the A, and it's Angel singing Angel. Sorry, that's my girl. I remembered I was driving school buses at the time, and this song came out then, and every morning when I'd go out there and do my pre-trip check, that's right, it's actually called a pre-trip check, I would let the radio play. And this song, for some reason, the whole time it was on, and it was number one, was playing almost at the same time every morning. So I know this song. Courts of Equity. I told you everything is equity. And whenever you guys are in court, you're in equity. But I got people arguing with me about this. The courts of equity have general and inherent jurisdiction over the property of infants. Bankruptcy court, equity. Superior court, equity. Small claims court, equity. All the courts are equity when they're dealing with you and you are being construed as a minor, an infant. I put this information up on the internet. I told you guys how hard it was for me to get it. I put it up on the internet and I put it out there for you. And I said, people, please, 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 please do the research. I went through the trouble, do the research. Nobody did the research. Almost had me looking stupid. So let's no, we don't want to do that. We want to do the view. Let's do the navigation, because I want to do disafferments. D-I-S-A-F-F-I-R R-M-A-N-C-E. Disaffermance. Okay. I get this is me. I keep putting that in there like that. Nope, we don't have no disaffirm. Wait. What else do we have? Majority. Age of majority. See, I don't know how many pages this is because of how it's pulling up. A-G-E, Oh, no, that's why. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is 31 CFR 363. We're going to show you something real quick because I think you need to know this. So we're going to go to the beginning. Wait a minute. Okay, this is 11. Who is eligible to open up a Treasury Direct account? Only individuals or an entity is eligible to open up a Treasury Direct account. In order to open up a Treasury Direct account, an individual must have all of this junk. Now let's show you what's one of the most important things they must have. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, it doesn't do that. The other one does in definitions. 06. That's what it is. Okay, we have to go back. We have to go back to 06. So security, single owner, security. Oh, yeah, security or treasury is a unit. As used in this part means obligations issued by the Treasury that is held in the Treasury Direct. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I told all of you guys, individual means an individual or an entity. Just like it said, only an individual or an entity can open up a Treasury Direct account. Minor means an individual under the age of 18 years. This is 363.06. That's the section we're in now under minors. That's the definition section. The term minor is also used to refer to an individual who has attained the age of 18, a United States citizen, years, but has yet to take control of the securities contained in his or her minor account. Ladies and gentlemen, your birth certificate is traded on the stock market. That is a security. When you, with that security, register that security, you document that you're the one of the owners of said certificate of title, birth certificate, and the register of titles shall treat you, the owner, as having attained the age of 18 when? At your 18th birthday. So it's retroactive. It's a retroactive statute. Let's go back here. Just so you know, there are people who are sitting up here telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. And when somebody said, "Don't you want to watch the person's videos?" Why would I want to watch that idiot's videos? See, he's legally incompetent. How is he incompetent? Because he's talking out the side of his neck about things he don't know nothing about. An incompetent individual or incompetent person means an individual who has been declared by a court to be legally incompetent, incapacitated, or otherwise unable to manage his or her affairs. You guys have been declared incompetent because you have been declared as being unable to manage your affairs. An entity means any owner of a Treasury Direct account that is not an individual. An entity means any owner that is not an individual, but we already found out what an individual means. It means an entity or person. You don't believe me? Let's go back to individual. No, that's minor. It's in alphabetical order. Where's my means a natural person? So I'm sorry, the other one meant individual or an entity. So not individual, but an entity or whatever that was is whatever. Anyway, an individual means a natural person. Now, I want you to understand, as an individual, according to this statute, you are not an entity. Now, who's able to open up a minor account? Let's see if it's going to take me there. You see, I just clicked on this. Let's see if it's going to take me there. Look, it opens up Microsoft Edge. That's all right if it lets me have hyperlinks in my document. Oh, by the way, this software right here. Oh, it's going to just load it up now. That's because it's just now opening. It's taking me to 27. Okay, this is 27. What do I need to know about accounts for minors who have had a legal guardian appointed by the court? I don't need to know that part. I'm not concerned about that part. I'm more concerned about 27 by itself. Minors may gain control of his or her account, 0% certificate of indebtedness and all this stuff. I don't need to know that. Okay, I don't need to know that. Let's see. I need to know 27. This is not 27 by itself. This is 27 subsectionalize. It starts with 8. Interesting. Now, I've shown this to some people. I'm going to show it to you all so that you'll know. Like I said, I wasn't sitting in nobody's jail cell twiddling my thumbs. I was actually doing research. You see this number? Let's pretend it's a social security number. And they just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because it contains 9 numbers and 2 dashes. You all know that, right? And this is registration for Treasury Direct. Okay. I don't know who this is, but we're going to find out in a minute. Now you see social security numbers again, right? Hold on. I want to let y'all see. Still social security numbers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Social security numbers, John Doe, Joseph Doe, social security numbers. Registration. Alright, let's go down just a little bit so y'all can see. You see that right there? Registration, John Doe, doing business as Doe Plumbing Supplies. And you see that EIN number? Now some people will say, oh no, that's an EIN number because that's a corporation he representing. And then that's a social security number because it says or social security number. Interesting, ain't it? That's what people would say, right? You see another EIN? You see these EINs? Ladies and gentlemen, what you don't get is that entity is treated as a corporation. So let me let you get it. John Doe and Sarah Jones. Okay, trustees under agreement for the Jane Doe dated blah 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 blah. Social security numbers, social security numbers. Well, where did we get the EIN number down here for? To show you it's not different. You see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Pay attention, y'all. This EIN number is interchangeable with this number. You just move the dash. This one you remove. This one you add. You don't believe me? Go back over 20 and 27 of 363. The estate of William Jones, decedent. I didn't say this, so y'all didn't hear me say this. We're talking about John Doe or William Jones. And you notice a decedent. He has an EIN number or a social security number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The only thing is the dashes. So you're going into court. You're going into bankruptcy court and you're going in under the social security number. Stop it. Go in under the EIN number and see what happens. See if things don't change. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we've gone into an hour and I'm sorry about that. There is something else I want to tell you. We're going to go back to 27 in a minute. I'm pulling out the ID that I got from Puerto Rico. I told you guys that they did me wrong and that I was upset about what they did. I'm sorry, I was wrong. They did not do me wrong. They gave me an ID that says not for real ID purposes. And the notary who saw this in California says, I cannot take this. You will need to have 2 people witness this. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even notice it until she brought it to my attention. I had had it for over 3 weeks. But then, while I'm here in Atlanta, I'm talking to some people about this ID. And as I'm talking to them, I realize, because I see at the top it says identificación, which is the Spanish spelling and wording and pronunciation for identification. And it says identification. So it has both at the top, so it is a Puerto Rican identification. So that's not in doubt. What the person who looks at it can't see is the fact that my name, I spelled out my first name, I spelled out Jones, and the last part of the name is Theophilus. I put void in between Jones and Theophilus. V-O-I-D. And you can see it as plain as day on the application. I have the original application. And I laughed at myself because it's not even hidden. Yet they see it plainly. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was coming out of California to go to Puerto Rico this week on Monday, TSA held me for 26 minutes. Well, they didn't hold me. They just wouldn't let me proceed. For 26 minutes, they held on to the ID. Told them, hey guys, I got to go to the restroom. They said, it should just be a little bit longer. And for 26 minutes, they held onto the ID. They kept putting it under the scan to see the hieroglyphs and everything to make sure they were there. Well, we've never seen one like this before. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This must be new. I'm not telling you guys to do this because you don't want to play with the system. I just played with it. Many of you couldn't handle what they put me through. I'm willing to go through it again. Like I said, Puerto Rico's not finished with me. We'll talk about that in the next video. Ladies and gentlemen, it says not for real identification purposes. Matter of fact, what am I doing? We right here. Oh no, gotta pull that back up. I gotta get this one. We want to put in parentheses You know what? I mess up this word all the time. Not for real identification purposes. So let's see what real ID, public frequently asked question. Agencies for accepting the official purposes of license and identification cards from the state. Real ID does not create a federal. Wait a minute. I think this is the one I need to look. This is Homeland Security. And you notice it says Real ID. And it uses the word real in all capital letters. The following are frequently asked questions about the Real ID program that would be useful to the public. You see Real ID. They highlight it. What is a Real ID? Let's see that. Let's see what's a Real ID. Passed by Congress in 2005, the Real ID Act enacted the 9/11 Commission's recommendations that the federal government set standards for issuance and sources identification, such as driver's license. The act established minimum security standards for state-issued driver's license identification cards and prohibits the federal agency from accepting, for official purposes, licenses and identification cards from states that do not meet these standards. States have made considerable progress in meeting this key recommendation. Okay, I see what it's saying, but at first, if I read this, it was saying that Puerto Rico has not met those standards, and that's not true. Puerto Rico has more than met the standards for identification, because there are way too many Puerto Ricans who have IDs that don't have not for real identification purposes, because I've spoken with them and theirs don't contain that. Real ID does not apply to the following. Let's see what this says. Her eyes fall back to tears. This is the second time. This is Wildflower. This is by a group called New Birth. New Birth. Wildflower. These my boys, y'all. And girls. I love this song. Okay? Which means I love this group. Just want y'all to know. This is called Wildflower. It's been remade so many times. Color Me Bad. I like their version of Wildflower. Okay? I actually love Color Me Bad's version of Wildflower. Alright, let's go. Entering federal facilities that do not require a person to present identification, voting and registration to vote, registering to vote, applying or receiving for federal benefits, being licensed by a state to drive, licensed by a state to drive, accessing health or life preserving services, including hospitals and health clinics, law enforcement, and continually protected activities, including defendants' access to the court proceedings, participating in law enforcement proceedings or investigation. Okay, so, good. When will I need to change how I travel domestically? How will the public be notified of these changes for air travel? Will minors need to have a driver's license to fly domestically? These are all the questions for the but they're not all about the Real ID thing. Okay, so we do know that the Real ID pertains to the so-called Patriot Act. And I do know that I got this ID and that they put that on there because of the void. Real ID is slowly changing state driver's license. Iowa law. Why to keep enhanced driver's license for Real ID purposes? Countdown to Real ID. Okay. So I like the fact that it says not for Real ID purposes. Now I can correct that notary to let her know that that is not a bad thing, that is a good thing. So good. I'm not a Real ID citizen. So as I said, I knew that it wasn't a bad thing. At first I thought they did me wrong, but now I see they didn't. It is an ID. I can use it to cash checks, open up bank accounts. I just can't use it to go and buy 85 billion tons of fertilizer, some igniting sticks, and some detonators, and get me some chemicals, and go ahead and dig up those weapons of mass destruction that they never found Saddam had. I think I might know where they at. Okay, I think they're in Bush's backyard, so we're gonna take a team over there and we're gonna check. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for letting me come to you today and bring you the information. Again, my hope is that some of you understand that this man is telling you what other people have been telling you. The only thing about it, they left things out. They didn't tell you about certain things. I have chosen to tell you about certain things, to let you know the reason why this and why that. I even told you about the driver's license, the Real ID. Did any of you know that? No, of course you didn't, because I didn't even know that. How could you know if I didn't know? Somebody else will say, H if I know. And I say, exactly. Okay, what do I need to know? I don't need this one. I need... Give me 1 second. This one's reserved, y'all. Oh, by the way, this is why you do have to get that Treasury Direct account. Procedures for how do I open up a Treasury Direct account? This is the one, 13. This is the one I haven't mentioned. So, how can I open a Treasury Direct account? Generally, you must establish a Treasury Direct account online before you purchase a Treasury security to be held in your account. You see, I've been telling people what they need to do. You need to study this, 363, and as you see, there's a table of contents. Uh-oh, where you at? Come on now. Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear how high his voice is getting? And nobody's stepping on his shoe. It's you, baby, baby. Sorry. Now, what is a Treasury Direct account? Let's check this out. Do y'all mind? Treasury Direct account is an online account maintained by us solely in your name, in which you may hold and conduct transactions in eligible book entry Treasury securities. Primary account. That's what I've been talking about. You guys have heard me talk about a primary account and a minor account. The primary account is the account that you establish when initially opening up your Treasury Direct account. The primary account may contain the following Treasury securities. Take a look at what may be contained in your Treasury account. Linked accounts. The linked account, the account that is linked and separate account from your primary account, and that is connected to your primary account, which is the minor account. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Minor account. Wells Fargo, Bank of America. A minor account is an account established by an individual custodian for an individual who has not yet reached the age of 18. We do not permit an entity to open a minor account. A minor account is linked to the custodian's primary account. A minor is the owner of the securities, but the custodian controls the account on behalf of the minor. Okay? Closing an account. If a Treasury Direct primary account and all associated linked accounts have had no holdings and no activities for a period of 2 years, we reserve the right to close the account along with all linked accounts. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, an account never closes, but it's to remain open for set-off discharges and blah blah blah. Some people have been doing the closed checking account method. I am not advocating that you do the closed checking account method with your Treasury Direct account. You did not hear me say that, so do not go out there saying, Brett said we can do closed checking accounts. Made Treasury close an account, suspend a transaction in an account, and refuse to open an account? So I'm not suggesting that y'all use a closed checking account method with the United States Treasury. I would never suggest something like that. So don't y'all dare for a minute go out there telling Brett said he said y'all can do a closed checking method on a Treasury Direct account. I mean, I'm not saying to y'all that I'm not going to do it, because I surely will. But I'm not advocating that y'all do it, because I'm not going to have y'all go out there and get yourselves in no trouble, because y'all know y'all going to be crying to me, talking about help me out of this situation. Okay? Alright, now, there are other things in here that tells you what is required, what you need, and all that. Okay? See how it goes all the way? Look, for 48 and 49, that reserve. They reserve that. They talk about public debt. What evidence is required to establish the validity of judicial proceedings? See, it tells you exactly, see, administrative actions involving securities held in Treasury Direct. Y'all gonna have to get some administrative action. Don't y'all know that? So, people, it's right here. Read it. See how it applies to you and then apply it. Man. Okay, I can't do all the work for you. Oh, and finally, there's the last thing, I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, some of you have been coming to me and you have been trying to get me to help you fill in the blanks for the junk that you're doing. Now, if you go back and listen to my videos, you'll see that I discussed this in the past. Okay, I told you all in the past that that's not my job. I'm not here to fill in your blanks. Okay, if you're not going to share, Get the out of my face. Information is free, so I give it to you for free. But if you're gonna sit up there and be clamored mouth and not tell me what's going on and not tell me exactly what you're trying to do, then I'm not gonna tell you anything of benefit. I don't feel sorry for you. If you're sitting up there gonna charge people because I just gave you information that would be beneficial. Ladies and gentlemen, God, this is my song and I don't know what to say. We're going to start the next video with Atlantic Starr's Send For Me. And yes, this is another one of my favorite songs. Okay? Thank you for allowing me to take up your time this 1 hour and... well, it's actually 1 hour and 15 minutes and 25 seconds. So I appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. The next video we will talk about the birth certificates, the forms, and what we're going to be adding to it in SATCOM. So as I say my goodbyes to you, and just for a moment, I'll be right back. So for now, thank you once again, and I hope this information has been helpful. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good time, but whatever you do, have it and may it be good.